I was recently name-checked in Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' recent filing against Justin Baldoni in Wayfarer Studios. I did it. I made it. I can now retire. All of the haters out there who doubted me are now asking for forgiveness. And I just want to say thank you to all of you who believed in me, who believed in us, who knew that this day would come.
But we can't forget what this is about. So Blake Lively has accused Justin Baldoni of engaging in misconduct, including sexual harassment on the set of the movie It Ends With Us, in which she co-starred alongside Baldoni. He was also the director of the film. And she said that he and his team of executives, financiers, PR, and crisis management experts, they devised a digital and media smear campaign to retaliate against her because she came forward and voiced her concerns with him. And if she should go public with her accusations, they were ready to combat her.
Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni, never-ending saga. We've got Candace Owens firing back after a hit piece was made against her.
I am not involved in this lawsuit, or at least that's what my lawyer kept telling me. Oh no, you're not a party to this lawsuit. Well, joke's on him, because I have now been name-checked in this lawsuit.
In a dramatic twist that captivated Hollywood insiders and social media users alike, Candace Owens emerged with an explosive narrative implicating some of the industry's most recognizable figures in a far-reaching scheme to control careers and dictate who rises and who falls. Owens, known for her provocative takes on cultural and political matters, claimed that Blake Lively, together with Ryan Reynolds, had masterminded a covert operation aimed at sabotaging actor and filmmaker Justin Baldoni. The controversy began when Owens found herself unexpectedly name-checked in a legal dispute between Lively and Baldoni, a development that confirmed her suspicions about a deeper, more sinister power play at work behind the glitz of Tinseltown. According to Owens, the entire episode was the culmination of a calculated campaign orchestrated by Lively and her inner circle, designed to strip Baldoni of his professional influence and tarnish his reputation. Owens presented what she described as concrete evidence, text messages, emails, and witness testimonies obtained through a subpoena that pointed to a concerted effort to silence dissent and maintain control over Hollywood's narrative. In her telling, Lively had not only accused Baldoni of misconduct and harassment on the set of his film, but had also mobilized an army of executives, financiers, public relations experts, and even influential celebrities to discredit him and ensure that his projects never saw the light of day.
Blake Lively weaponized false allegations against him and misrepresented what the true context of their conversations were about to leverage her control over the movie, that she wanted more control over script writing and editing, and that she eventually got her version of the film to actually be published and distributed, that she used the power and influence of her husband, actor Ryan Reynolds, and mega superstar friend Taylor Swift to pressure him, to intimidate him into accepting her revisions of a key scene in the film. And effectively what he's saying is that she boxed him out of the movie. She turned the cast against him, that she wouldn't even really let him attend the premiere of the film. He says that he and his family were forced to sit in the basement. By the way, talking evidence, there were photos of him and his family and friends, what it purported to be, in the basement of that theater.
She claims he sexual harassed her, and then by the time they premiered the movie, they weren't even speaking to each other. She made him stay in the basement, and Ryan Reynolds turned on him too. And then she claimed that he unleashed a bad PR campaign against her, and he claims none of that is true. There was absolutely no harassment. Those are made-up claims. She wrested his movie away from him and decided to try to hurt him with petty, made-up, out-of-context complaints when he pushed back even in the mildest way, and that she and her husband are bullies. And now it's resulted in vicious cross litigations against both of them. The New York Times.
Well, the latest thing is, Taylor Swift has been dragged into this because Taylor Swift was there one of the nights, almost the way Baldoni's team is describing it, intimidating Justin Baldoni about the rewrites that Blake Lively did. And then Blake Lively says she has two dragons, much like Khaleesi in Game of Thrones, one being Taylor Swift and one being Ryan Reynolds. Anyhow, the new news coming out is that Taylor Swift is distancing herself from Lively.
The controversy deepened when Owens implicated Ryan Reynolds in the scheme, painting him as a domineering figure whose need for control extended far beyond his public persona. She portrayed Reynolds as a narcissistic gatekeeper, a man whose actions behind the scenes were driven by a desire to protect the interests of his powerful wife and to enforce a strict code of conduct within Hollywood. According to Owens, Reynolds' involvement was not merely a passive one. He was allegedly the mastermind behind many of the decisions that led to the public smear campaign against Baldoni. Owens argued that Reynolds, by interfering with the creative process and exerting undue influence over production decisions, played a critical role in isolating Baldoni and ensuring that his projects were either defunded or indefinitely delayed. The narrative Owens spun was one of betrayal and manipulation, where personal ambition and a hunger for power overrode any semblance of fairness or integrity. She recalled how Lively had allegedly weaponized false allegations against Baldoni, misrepresenting conversations and events to create a climate of mistrust and animosity. This, according to Owens, was a deliberate move by Lively to assert dominance over the creative process, forcing Baldoni to accept her version of the film's narrative and sidelining him from key promotional events. Owens described a scene in which Baldoni and his family were relegated to a basement during a film premiere, a moment that symbolized the extent of his professional humiliation.
All right, so everything in the world is just ridiculous. It's pointedly ridiculous, I would say. I mean, I'm no longer believing the things I'm saying. I feel like I am now lying to the public when I cover these things because we're just reaching levels of absurdity that are offending my sensibilities.
And she says, media is having a meltdown that have gone mainstream. They must feel so powerless given the fact that they gave it their best effort to brainwash the masses into believing I was literally Hitler last year, and now I own all my own content. She says something that I agree with though. Lesson, you never have the power to destroy who you didn't make. Creators can always keep creating.
Taylor Swift's team is now coming out swinging, and that is super interesting. An article just dropped about an hour ago in TMZ against Blake Lively in the press. Taylor Swift is alleging that Blake Lively is lying, but is Taylor telling the truth, or is this just a strategy to save her own skin?
So you have competing claims, you have competing lawsuits, you have claims of harassment, defamation, breach of contract, retaliation, negligence, and so forth.
As the scandal unfolded, various Hollywood figures began to weigh in on the matter. Some celebrities, including former co-stars and industry insiders, hinted at a long-standing culture of unchecked influence and favoritism in the entertainment world. Gina Rodriguez, for example, was noted for a cryptic social media post that seemed to echo Baldoni's plight, while others like Penn Badgley provided understated commentary on Lively's forceful persona. Meanwhile, the controversy took an even more unexpected turn when Taylor Swift's name entered the fray. Allegations surfaced that Swift, long considered a close friend of Lively, had started distancing herself amid the chaos, further complicating the narrative of a Hollywood power struggle with far-reaching consequences. For Owens, this scandal was not just a personal vendetta but a microcosm of a larger issue plaguing the film industry, an industry where a select group of powerful individuals can, with relative impunity, determine the fates of those they deem unworthy or inconvenient. She argued that the incident was emblematic of a system that rewards conformity and punishes dissent, where authenticity and meaningful storytelling are sacrificed on the altar of celebrity and influence. Owens's commentary resonated with many who felt that behind the polished veneer of Hollywood lay a ruthless undercurrent, one where success was determined not by talent or hard work, but by the ability to navigate an intricate web of relationships and power dynamics.
Basically, I'm not going to read it for you in its entirety, but they basically share how she has grown in popularity by talking about Blake Lively, and because this is a gossip Hollywood entertainment news topic, there's been a lot of people on the left that have agreed with Candace Owens here. There has been a fear and possibly a shame by a lot of people that she is going to switch their opinions. Like all of a sudden, just because you agree with Candace Owens.
I believe it. I didn't realize they then went in the trailer and had a fight, and that was, look, I said it here myself. I think it's Ryan Reynolds is behind a lot of this, that he, now he's using Hugh Jackman, showing up on Broadway, to support his friend Hugh. Really, you just want to be seen next to Hugh Jackman, like America's, I guess, male sweetheart, even though he left his wife, who's older, who was more famous than him, and now is with Sutton Foster. But people seem to forget that.
She said this led to a wave of negative reaction on social media and articles about her. She even presented text messages that she obtained through a subpoena to support her argument that this was a coordinated retaliatory campaign against her. And I've said this before, I'll say it again, a lot of those messages could be quite bad for Justin Baldoni and the defendants in this case.
The story, as recounted by Owens, was a potent blend of scandal, revenge, and the dark underbelly of the entertainment industry. it ignited a firestorm of debate online, with hashtags like #JusticeForJustin and #BlakeExposed trending as viewers and critics alike grappled with the implications of such high-stakes power plays. While some dismissed Owens' claims as merely another example of celebrity drama, others saw in them a troubling reflection of how influence is wielded in Hollywood, a world where personal vendettas can escalate into full-blown legal and public relations battles.
Well, now, Candace Owens, the political commentator,
Oh, yeah.
There's a whole theory on why she's doing this. A lot of people feel this is alt-right. This is like how they bring people in. They get them.
What, she's talking about this now? Candace Owens?
She alleges she has a source very close to Justin Baldoni and this whole Blake Lively situation that is feeding her direct information. She says Ryan Reynolds is the villain. He's a control freak, narcissist.
I believe it.
Has to be the biggest swinging dick in the room. And
I
the
said
whole
that here
thing,
before. I think that he's behind a lot of this.
They believe that he walked onto set. He wanted to look at the
Dailies.
dailies, thank you, which is all the scenes that were shot. And that tipped him off. Whether it was the chemistry, they lingered way too long, something. They had a fight in the trailer, and from there, things went down, down, down. And then, of course, she had the disastrous promotion of the film. And really, Candace Owens says, the source says that this is all about Ryan and Blake wanting to take control, wanting Blake to really take over the film and the sequel.
The thing that I wanted to talk about in this episode was one of you guys sent me a link to a video. It was from a Forbes Power Women Summit in 2022 when Blake Lively was interviewed on stage in front of an audience. And the way things that she revealed in that interview are just like, wow, I really wish Justin Baldoni had watched that before he hired her. She basically admits that she signs up for projects as an actress, and then when she's got the part, she starts interfering with everything because she wants to have power over the wardrobe and in production and the writing. And she just sits on this stage and admits all of it.
And sometimes I would have people who really resented that because they were like, we just hired you to be an actor. Yet when I went in the meetings, I would just seem like I'm just there to be the actor and ready to get the gig. I wouldn't reveal that I actually need to have authorship in order to feel fulfilled. So I think that for them, sometimes that might have felt like a rug pull because you're like, you're trying to assert yourself into something that we didn't hire you to do.
As the debate raged on, one thing became clear: this controversy was far from a simple case of gossip, and its reverberations could potentially alter the balance of power in an industry already rife with manipulation and intrigue.